thinking for seconds. I'm like, 11? Why 11? It's like me saying, let's clap on 17. And then I realized, minutes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, yeah. Absolutely. And speaking of happy notes, welcome in to episode 68 of the Halcyon Frequency podcast. My name is Bloody Drongo, and I'm hosting today. And alongside me, we have FG Squared and 2D Kiri. How are you today, FG?
Hello.
Hi, good morning. I am awake. It's very early. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, but I am reasonably awake and doing pretty all right.
Nice. And how are you, Kiri?
Same, actually. It's not as early for me. It's an hour later, but yeah, just rolled out of bed. I'm somewhat awake.
Somewhat awake is pretty much all the way there, so we'll take it. And it is, of course, an important day today. It is May the 4th, which has just been pointed out to me, even though for me, it is the afternoon, and I did not even realize it, didn't even clock it at all.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
Opinion, I think that's totally fine.
Yeah. Also, so slight background. To sync our recordings, we use a website called time.is, and it actually calls out what day of what special day of the year it is. And it is apparently also World Password Day today. So, yeah. Remember to change your passwords and use a password manager on that note.
Perfect.
Right?
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
They really do have a day for just about everything. A World Passport Day.
Yeah, apparently so. I guess, I don't know, if you champion a course, you just pick a day and you just like take a dart and you just throw it at a calendar and then just like, yeah, all right, September 21st. All right, now this is, I don't know, Old Eggnog Day or something like that. I don't know.
That's getting real niche.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh,
God.
Are either of you Star Wars fans?
No. I was at some point. But
yeah.
I don't really want to go into this again. Boba Fett.
Sorry, I didn't realize this was retraining
too long,
ground.
didn't read. Boba Fett is my favorite character, was my favorite character until the show. The show was so bad, I am still very upset about it. I haven't watched any Star Wars since. I don't think I will.
Oh, no.
Yes. I'm very salty about it.
That's a shame.
So, I didn't really grow up with Star Wars. I'm more of a Star Trek person. That's like what I watched when I was a kid, like TOS reruns. Yep. And then Next Generation when that came out. So yeah, I'm more of a Trek person. For me, it's kind of like Trek Gate Wars in terms of stars, I guess, or star, I guess, you know. But that I've been known to enjoy certain Star Wars things. I've tried to get into some of the new TV shows. Some of them I really can't get into. Really enjoy The Mandalorian though. Been watching that recently.
The new season?
Sorry. Season 3.
Okay.
No, good.
Yeah. So I kind of grew up with a bit more Star Wars. FG, just quickly, were your parents Trekkies? Is that how you kind of got into it?
No, but one of my best friends in elementary school, her mum was like a diehard Trekkie and Leonard Nimoy fan. So every time I was over at her house in the afternoon, they'd have the TOS and the TNG reruns, and we'd sit down and watch it at her house. So yeah, I've seen all episodes of TOS like multiple times, like as a kid and that sort of stuff.
The only reason I ask is because I think of all the Trekkies I know, almost every single one of them has been brought into the fandom through their parents very young, or like you said, like a friend of a friend or an aunt or an uncle or something who was already into it and kind of like passed that down, which I think is actually really, really wholesome for the fandom of Star Trek.
It's a fandom that's been around for like so long at this point. If you really think
Yeah.
about it, it's crazy. Like you can have like literally like probably 3-4 generations like by now like all be fans, and they all like were like, you know, I don't know, teenagers or whatever when there was a Star Trek show or movies happening right now. It's crazy to think how it's been such a pop culture staple for so long.
Absolutely, yeah. But I suppose for me personally, I grew up with Star Wars. Like the Phantom Menace was the first movie I ever went to the movie theater with my dad to see when I was a kid.
That's so cute.
So I'm one of those outspoken people that says like that second Star Wars trilogy is actually underrated. It's actually, you know, not as bad as people love to hate on it for. But I'm not really a diehard Star Wars fan. I've only recently gotten around to watching like The Mandalorian, and I've just recently finished watching Andor as well. And I thought Mandalorian was pretty good, but Andor was actually really enjoyable. I liked that one a lot.
I can't get into it. It starts so slowly. Like we tried 3 episodes and it just didn't hold my attention. But everybody keeps telling me you just have to get through the first 3 episodes and then it gets really good.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh,
I mean,
really?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it is definitely a different tempo kind of show, but I'm also not somebody who really wants like a lot of action and stuff. And I felt like, for me personally, part of why I didn't enjoy The Mandalorian more was it felt a little bit more shallow in terms of the narrative aspects of it. Although that said, I actually really, really enjoyed, and out of all of the Mandalorian seasons, I actually really enjoyed the third one. The third one to me was the most interesting. So, yeah, but I mean, yeah, each to their own, right? With these things.
No, I think what my problem with Andor is I feel so disconnected from what's going on because I don't really understand what's going on, because they kind of just throw you into it, right? Like it feels like they expect you to know so much background knowledge that I just don't have, that I don't know, I have just such a hard time getting into it. But then people do say I should like, I don't know, maybe I just need to like force myself to sit through it, because obviously it is really closely connected to Rogue One, right? And I really enjoyed Rogue One. Like Rogue One was fantastic. So maybe
Rogue One is probably my favorite of all of the Star Wars films.
Same.
As a standalone movie.
Same. And yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe I just need to give it a like, I don't know, another chance. Maybe Andor deserves another chance. Might as well do it now since we still have a Disney Plus subscription, so I suppose get some value out of that. Right?
Is there any other sci-fi fandoms that you're a part of now that you have resigned and handed in your Star Wars fan card?
Actually, you know what? I totally forgot, because there's also, Starship Troopers. I love sci-fi, right? Like, I really do. Like, I really like sci-fi. I really do. Like, as I said, Star Trek, Stargate, like the Starship Troopers universe was really, really cool. And that sort of stuff. So yeah, sci-fi, heck yeah. Expanse was fantastic. Like all of that. Give me space. I'm like the opposite. Like normally Kiri and I are like totally the same, but I think this is a topic where we're like polar opposites.
absolutely.
And it's really funny. But yeah, I really love sci-fi.
It's really funny. And you're confusing the listeners even more, because Drongo asked me a question, you answered. Just to make sure, I'm Kiri. And the other person is FG. FG, say hi.
Hi, I'm FG
Right.
Kiri, I think.
No. I was trying to clarify.
Oh, my
Anyway,
goodness.
fun side note. Sci-fi is not my favorite genre. It's just, I don't know why. But funny enough, when you mentioned or asked FG if her parents got her into Star Trek, my dad got me into Star Wars. And that explains then why I never really watched Star Trek. I mean, he did watch Stargate, but I wasn't interested in that. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sci-fi, I can't explain it. I don't, like, it's not that I don't like it. I've watched like 2 Star Trek movies, I think. But I don't know. all that space stuff.
To be fair, I don't think any of the Star Trek movies are particularly good.
No, the TV shows are better, I think.
Honestly don't remember them, but I don't know. Something about the whole setting doesn't grab me. I want it to be realistic. Also, I like drama.
Well, have either of you ever watched Battlestar Galactica? Because that's the fan base that I most closely align myself, because I've never watched Star Trek, and I don't really care for Star Wars that much. Like, I don't have particularly strong feelings for it, but Battlestar Galactica is my jam. That is like one of the few TV shows I own like DVDs for, physical DVDs, and I basically don't own physical anything for anything. Yeah. So that's kind of a big deal for me.
No,
never watched it.
Battlestar Galactica. I tried with the newer one, and it I don't know, it doesn't grab me. Though, that you're bringing up older sci-fi, Farscape and Babylon 5, mwah, yes please.
I did enjoy Farscape. I don't think I've seen Babylon 5 though.
Oh, I would recommend it. It's fun. It's good. I like it. I enjoyed that one too.
But I mean, the whole reason that came to mind for me then was with you mentioning, Kiri, that you kind of like a slightly more realistic setting and a bit more drama. I think Battlestar Galactica is really, really good in that perspective because it is a bit more of a dramatization rather than like a sci-fi kind of action, very heavily kind of oriented around, I guess, less realistic kind of scenarios.
That sounds promising. But actually, the moment I said it, I like realistic things. I like fantasy too, and that's not realistic, so I don't forget that.
No, but I mean, like, that's a different setting, right? Like, that's just...
It is a different setting, but it's also not realistic.
Yeah. That's true, yeah. Or is it not? Just kidding.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Something about the whole space shenanigans I don't care about.
So yeah, I find space really cool and really fascinating, so I think that helps.
Definitely.
Because like sci-fi is like the only way I'll ever get to really explore, quote unquote, because it's not real space. Because like, I don't know, space. I really like space, but I also like fantasy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they're not exclusive. Really,
yeah,
they're for me, but
yeah, I definitely fall into both categories. Like, I love both sci-fi and fantasy settings.
You know, from your
don't
stream,
really distinguish much between the two.
From your stream, I would have never noticed. I'm pretty sure you have a really big hateful relationship with Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah, I suppose that is true. I do kind of wear some of my fandoms on my sleeve in that respect. Yeah, I do love Lord of the Rings.
Me too, though.
It's one of my greatest loves. It is just such an amazing world, and I just really enjoy it.
Same.
I'm so sad I won't be playing Gollum.
Yeah.
Oh, why won't you be playing
camera
Gollum?
Simulation sickness. I won't be able to, and I'm so sad about it.
I'm really curious to see what story they're going to tell with that game. I'm really curious because, like, what like, I get it, like we're learning more about Gollum, and I like that, but then I find it really curious this whole discussion about the Sindarin DLC and that sort of stuff, and how there's already so much Sindarin in the game. And then you can have even more with the DLC. And I'm like, but I'm playing Gollum. Why is there so much Elvish? I want to know more. Tell me. Let me play this game.
I mean, yeah, we did actually talk about this the other day. Or I was talking about this the other day. And I think it's really interesting the fact that they went to so much trouble to make so much more extra content in an entirely other language that they need to charge DLC for it. Assuming that there is a reasonable amount there, it does raise a lot of questions in my mind as well as to, okay, what is the setting going to be here?
Yeah, because we don't really know much, right? There's not really been like extended gameplay or anything like that, or plot spoilers or anything like that. Or maybe I've just been really good at avoiding them, because that's definitely a game I'm excited for.
And I also think from a lore perspective, even though I think the Lord of the Rings books and the Hobbit book give a little bit of an idea of like Smeagol's background in between, like him before he acquired the ring and then after it. You know, he lived for 100 years, and there's still a lot of stuff that he would have gotten up to that we don't really know about. So assuming if it's in that period before he meets Frodo in the actual Lord of the Rings setting, or maybe it's after that somehow, or well, actually, no, I just realized what a stupid thing that is to say. Unless he somehow survives Mount Doom.
Probably not, though.
Question mark.
I don't know. Like, I mean, there could be so much, right? It could be his journey from like how he grew up to getting the ring to how he then made it under the mountain and where he then met Bilbo, which is a really intriguing thing, because it kind of makes you play like that would be a game that kind of then makes you play an anti-hero, and that's kind of cool.
It is.
That would be a very cool kind of perspective to put you in as a player.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
I'm excited for that game.
There's so many cool games coming out in the next months.
What's something that's on your radar, Kiri?
All right, so Darkest Dungeon 2 coming out next week.
Yes, very excited.
Yes.
I realized that Diablo 4 is just releasing in a month. That surprised me.
True. Oh yeah, that must be really exciting for you. That's true. Yeah.
Lots of people are excited about Zelda 2. I forgot what it's called. Like Breath of the Wild 2.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, and then there's more coming in summer. It's just exciting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting up to the period, I suppose, where just before summer, where the games come out, and then we'll head into the summer lull a little bit, I guess.
Which is totally good, because I'm going to travel a lot again, so
same.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm not going to be. But that's okay. But I'm happy for you both.
But we'll meet you in Vegas.
Yes.
Not in summer, but
that you will, which I am looking forward to.
It still counts. It's Australian. It's almost Australian summer, so it counts. Right?
Sorry?
October.
What?
It's like almost Australian summer.
October, I guess, is pretty much Australian summer. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so it counts. It's still summer.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Okay, well, let's go to a quick break, and when we come back, we will be talking about games that we've been playing recently. Okay, and welcome back from the break. It's me, your host, Bloody Drongo, and I am joined by FG and 2D Kiri. And we are going to be talking about what games we've been playing lately. And I know, Kiri, you have been playing a game which I have been pretty interested in, and I was lucky enough to catch you playing some last night. But why don't you tell us about Showgunners?
Oh, absolutely. First off, I'm honestly surprised by how much I like this game and enjoy it, because I was sent a review key for it. And I thought, yeah, okay, it's a tactical turn-based combat game. Sure, I like those. Let's give it a try. But I don't know. I was a bit on the fence, honestly. If I had lots of other things to do, I probably would have skipped it. But it is so cool. I love the premise of it. So it's a bit in the future, totally dystopian, and you play as Scarlet, a female bounty hunter, in a high-stakes game show. So you win prize money, but she doesn't care about the prize money. We find that out early on. So she's in that game show, having to dodge traps, having to fight against ex-prisoners who want to kill her, because that's it, right? You've got defenders who try to kill you, and you need to make your way through several episodes. And the whole game is basically you watching and playing this TV show. You have help from other characters. They cycled through, basically. And there's two different phases of gameplay. One is the turn-based combat. So whenever you're ambushed, whenever you go into a fighting arena, turn-based combat, which is really fun because you have different characters and you can swap weapons, you have skills. Every character has a skill tree as well. You level up, you get experience, and you also get fame for killing, I don't know, lots of people in one round or killing them in a funny way. Maybe with help of another character, or I don't know, you just go up and smash them in the head or something. So you get extra fame points for doing these things. And then with enough fame, you unlock the next tier of fame and you can select 1 out of 3 sponsorships for weird things in the game. It's really funny. And then you get maybe, I don't know, an implant for more health or something. It's really funny. And then the other aspect or the other gameplay, I don't know, phase loop is you in real time with a basically top-down camera, you traverse that game show, you traverse the level, and you actually effectively have to dodge the traps or disarm the traps. So there could be mines, and they blink in red and green in a certain pattern. Also, those patterns change, and then you have to click it when it's green to disarm it, for example. And sometimes those traps are hard to see because there's a loot box behind it, and you just see the loot box and you run straight forward and you get hit by a trap. So it's really funny and very engaging, I find. And then you also have audience from the game show just standing off to the side, and then they scream at you, "Hey, please come over, I want an autograph." And then you go over there and they have no clue who you are because your fame is not high enough, but you still give an autograph. And there's also different dialogue options with that. So you could be funny, you could be friendly, you could be very rude to them, and then you get different personality points which tie in with what sponsorships will be available once you have enough fame.
Gotcha.
It's really cool. I love the world that I've made, and you can find out so many tidbits about why everybody's here and what's going on in the world. And I'm so intrigued. I've played 3. Did I finish the 3rd? Yes, I'm in the 4th episode now of the game show. I honestly forgot how many there are, but lots more. And it's really cool. I love it. It's very brutal though, super gory, and kind of a lot of swearing as well. But it's awesome. Honestly, I like it so much. Highly recommend.
I have to say I did enjoy watching you play it last night, and I am an absolute sucker for games that kind of revolve around that turn-based model as well. The gameplay itself plays, or it looks like it plays, fairly similarly to XCOM in some respects.
Yes, also with a hit chance.
That is one of my the classic hit chance.
I got XCOM yesterday. I missed 3 times. No. Shot with 75% chance to hit. I missed 3 times.
Never lucky.
Nope.
That's heartbreaking.
It was rough. But sorry to interrupt. Yes, XCOM style games.
Yeah, and they're some of my favorite games of all time, and yeah, anything that is in that kind of realm is something that I tend to like pay attention to. And I like you mentioned, the world around it as well seems to be pretty compelling as well. It's not just, going in and doing like a mission per se, but it's a whole different sort of setting, and the interactions around it seem pretty fun.
Absolutely. It's really great.
To shift gears from Kiri becoming an influencer in a game, basically murdering people to get her sponsorships, we can move over to FG being an influencer, but killing zombies this time. Tell us about Dead Island 2, FG Squad.
Yeah, so Dead Island 2 came out by now a couple of weeks ago, I guess. And it's like actually out. It's like this game. It was announced like ages ago. ages ago. I think, oh God, I want to say like 8 years ago or something stupid like that, or maybe even longer than that. And it was like in development hell for a really long time, and it's out now. It's available and you can play it. It's a Dead Island game. You fight zombies and you decapitate them and mutilate them in the most goriest of ways, and it is delightful. The story itself is negligible. Nothing to write home about really, but it's not really with Dead Island, it's not really about the story. It's just about, offing zombies in the most absurd way, like kicking them off rooftops and just things like that, right? It's just good old zombie mutilation fun. And I had a really good time with it. I played it through on stream. I didn't do all of the side content. It's fairly short. It only took me about 17 hours to finish.
17.
Yeah, but for the price tag, it's very short. So I would not recommend picking it up right now. I would probably recommend waiting until it goes on sale, because it is heckin' expensive. Because it is like full price plus for 17 hours, which is pretty rough. Really, yeah, it is really rough. So I wouldn't recommend picking it up right now, but like it's fun. As I said, like if you just wanna murder some zombies, it ran really well for me on my system. I had no like crashes or stutter or anything like that, and it's co-op as well, so you can play it together. And I guess the one thing that's important to note, that some people will care about, it's Epic exclusive right now, so I'm sure some people will be upset about that. So I felt like I should mention it, but it's fun. Like it's good. Like it's not amazing. It's not a game I'm gonna like replay for the story or anything like that, but I had fun. I really like the main character that I played as, because she's like this. So you have lots of characters to choose from, but I played as Danny, who's this Irish rockabilly chick with like lots of tattoos, green hair, and just constantly like Dead Island style, like just quipping like these quirky one-liners and all that sort of stuff. And it was just fun, right? It wasn't like a moving game. The story wasn't moving or profound or anything like that, but it was just fun. And I had a good time with it.
Sounds cool, honestly. Just murdering zombies.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, and like chopping off limbs and heads and like I don't know, like, drop kicking them off buildings and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be really therapeutic.
I can see that.
Yeah, no, I had a great fun time with it.
It's something I'm definitely looking forward to checking out. I do have a key here sat waiting for me, so I will get around to playing it at some point in the near future, I dare say. But yeah, I do like a good bit of casual zombie killing fun.
See, me too.
But something,
right? That's the thing. And we didn't really have that many first-person ones recently come out. I mean, there was Dying Light 2 last year, but that was also a bit disappointing. So it's good to have options.
Yeah, definitely. I have also been murdering my way through random miscellaneous things, including both people and zombies, but this time in Darkest Dungeon, which has been a game that I have recently picked up. I know I'm very, very late to the show on this, but if you're not familiar with Darkest Dungeon, it is a turn-based strategy game where you manage a party of 4, and you need to make your way through a series of dungeons. It's like a 2D kind of side-scrolling sort of art style, and it has... Is it cel-shaded? I think it would be sort of cel-shaded. I think that's the art
I think
style.
so.
I'm not sure.
Partially cel-shaded for sure.
Yeah. But it has a very unique and striking kind of visual style to it, which is very kind of grim, dark aesthetic. And yeah, I've only just gotten to it. I did briefly pick it up once years ago. I think it was actually after I saw Kiri playing it in 2019 or something. And I picked it up and I played it for about 20 minutes and just got completely overwhelmed, and then just kind of didn't think about it again after that. So went back to it this week, and man, I have had so much fun with it already, and I had to really fend off the cravings to play more while I was working on stuff today, because oh man, it was so much fun. And the learning curve on it as well, as I've found lately with a lot of games where they tend to be ones that are quite almost masochistic in the learning curve that they present you. I've been finding a lot of joy in throwing myself into the deep end and having chat alongside me to kind of help me work out the bits that I can't work out, and just, you know, going to town and seeing what happens. And yeah, I've just been absolutely loving it. So Darkest Dungeon, 10 out of 10 recommend.
I'm so happy to hear that. Darkest Dungeon is one of my favorite games. It's so good.
It's fantastic. I've never finished it though. Like, I always get into it and I start a run and I get like 20, 30 hours into a run, and then it's like I get distracted. I've never finished Darkest Dungeon. I have all the DLCs. I've never finished it, but it's a fantastic game. And I'm so looking forward to the second one coming out, because the second one, obviously they changed it up a little bit and they made it into a, please don't kill me blind, roguelite. And that type of gameplay progression sits a little bit better with me than OG Darkest Dungeon. I'm so excited for Darkest Dungeon 2 though. Oh my god, I can't wait.
It's more forgiving that way.
Yeah, I mean, roguelites are, yeah, because there's always progress even if you fail, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to it as well, and that was really the catalyst to me going, oh crap, I still haven't played Darkest Dungeon 1. I really need to sneak that in there. And I am getting in like last minute, because it's like releases first thing next week.
Yeah, Monday, right?
So,
yeah.
Better late than never, I suppose. But that is actually a good point, actually. I think that from what I've heard from people who have played both games now, is that they're different enough to provide an experience that is not exactly comparable, and that means that Darkest Dungeon in of itself is still going to be a game that's worth going back to and playing for that specific experience, where Darkest Dungeon 2 has a different experience which you can go to and enjoy that way. It's not as if Darkest Dungeon then becomes irrelevant because there's a new game that's come out, which I think is kind of good.
It's great. No, absolutely. I actually really like it, because it does slightly different things, but at the same time, because you do have a lot of the same classes and moves. There's this familiarity. Like, if you it feels like, and they somehow managed to do this, it feels like coming home.
Yeah.
Like, because it is hits for me personally, it hits the exact same mood. You have the same people, you learn more about their backstories and all that sort of stuff, and I just it's great. I can't wait to dig into it. And the music is so good, and the narrator voice acting, like
yes.
Wayne June,
he's brilliant.
So good.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Next level voice acting, honestly. It is iconic, really is the aspect with Darkest Dungeon, obviously from a visual perspective, one of the things that they've done is they've added in a more 3D kind of dimension to it. Is that something that either of you are expecting to have any issues in terms of simulation sickness, or that have you experienced anything like that if you've already given it a try?
The cart controls were a bit iffy at first, but because like the default cart settings are a bit blur when you steer it, because it's really wobbly. But you can fix that, and everything else for me was fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the cart, like, yeah, the controls are just really weird. So play around with those if you feel sick when you're driving the cart around, because you have to, like in Darkest Dungeon 2, you have to physically drive a cart through a landscape that like scrolls at you, like a normal racing game basically. Like, you have to just drive down the thing, and the cart controls feel a bit odd at first, but you can adjust like steering sensitivity and turning radius and all that sort of stuff, and after that it was completely fine for me.
I want to say same. I don't remember feeling bad playing it, so it must be okay.
Yeah, cool. I can't recall you having said anything when we played the early access.
Thank you. I'm glad my second half remembers everything. It's like, I don't. Thank you. But usually I don't have problems with racing games, so it should be fine.
True, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Well, why don't you tell us, Kiri, about Age of Wonders 4, which looks very shiny, but I'm keen to hear what you thought.
Yeah, gladly. I've played one stream so far, and it's good. It's very shiny. It's a very pretty 4X game, turn-based hexagons. The music is nice as well. I don't have any issues with it. I also don't really have much more to say, honestly. I think it's my first Age of Wonders. I don't remember, because my brain doesn't work like that. I don't remember ever playing another one. I like going into it. They have a Frostling race, so obviously I'm playing the Frostlings. I've got ice magic and stuff. It's really cool. It reminded me of Master of Magic. And funnily enough, people have asked me if I like Age of Wonders 4 more or Spellforce Conquest of Io, because it's also 4X, rather similar. I can't really put my finger on it, but I like Age of Wonders 4 more. I can't really say why, but it's just better for me, super subjectively. It's fun. I'm going to stream more of it. Probably not too much more, seeing as the directory is like absolutely bursting out of the seams. It's honestly very enjoyable. Yeah.
It definitely caught my eye. I've not personally played any Age of Wonders games before, but from a visual perspective, it looks so crisp and very, very pretty. And that was kind of what caught my eye. Not just the fact that it seems like a load of people that I'm following are playing it right now, but it does look very visually very pretty. But yeah, hopefully it's good. Have you had a chance to check out Age of Wonders yet, FG, or have you had any thoughts on it?
I don't know what it is. The Age of Wonders series is not quite my jam, which is really odd because it's 4X and fantasy, so it should totally be my jam. But I don't know. I didn't get into Planetfall when that came out, years ago. So I haven't really, didn't really put effort into getting a key for 4. As I said, it does look pretty. It looks really pretty, but I don't know, for some reason it's never drawn me in, and I can't put my finger on why. It just hasn't. Yeah.
There's actually one cool thing that I just remembered about the game. You can select your race when you start a game, one out of I don't know how many, a lot, but you could also make your own. And that's really cool.
That is cool.
Oh,
that is cool.
that's
Yeah,
fun.
that's cool.
Very good. Well, FG, why don't you tell us about Roots of Pacha?
Yeah, so Roots of Pacha came out last week. You've played it too, right, Kiri?
Yeah, about 3 hours, I think. But yes.
Yeah, so Roots of Pacha is like a very loosely Stone Age inspired life sim. And I say Stone Age inspired because it is definitely not adhering to what actually went down in the Western European or in the European Stone Age. That's for sure, because you grow stuff from like, I don't know, you make like I don't know, you grow tomatoes and potatoes and sweet potatoes and quinoa and all that sort of stuff that didn't even exist in the Stone Age over here, basically. And you make like, I don't know, when you cook, you make like empanadas and then that sort of stuff. It's really odd. They do say that at the start. Because I have ranted about this before I started the game. I was like, yeah, me as an archaeologist, this kind of hurts. I have to really, really, really suspend my disbelief to get into this game because they're kind of not really kicking the Stone Age, but like as I said, like it's really not Stone Age realistically at all. But they take stuff from all over the planet. Like they've got lots of South American stuff in it, like animals and like food and dishes and that sort of stuff. They've got Native American, like they picked stuff from like all over the planet that you kind of found in the Stone Age in those places, and then made it sort of a little bit fantasy, because there's also like you can turn into a bird later to solve puzzles and that sort of stuff. So it's very loosely Stone Age inspired. So I can actually like I can now suspend my disbelief, and it's been really it's not been amazing. Like, I don't love the game, but it's been very pleasant to play and chill with. Like, it's
Sure.
it's it's a good life sim. It's not early access, which is always important to say. Like, it is a full featured game. You can finish it, you can play it through. It's got multiplayer, which is also always nice in these types of games, so you can play it together with friends. And the thing that is a bit annoying is I feel it starts really slow. Like, I don't know why. It's I can't even say why it feels slow. It just feels really slow at the start. But now I basically, like, I'm at that point where I just have loads and loads of things to do. I think it's because tech progress is a little bit slow. Because, like, the way it works, because it's the Stone Age and you have like a tribe that you live with, what they did is there's obviously no monetary economy, right? Because that didn't exist at the time. So instead, you still quote unquote ship your items, but you supply the tribe with them to, like, you know, help out the tribe and make the tribe thrive and that sort of stuff. So you get like what's called contribution points, and the tribe gets progression points. And your tech advances is tied to the progression points. People will get ideas, and then you have to supply them with resources, and then they will go and figure out stuff like animal husbandry and like breeding animals and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's they put nice, like, they put some thought into like a progression system into it. It's not just like, oh yeah, you build a research bench and then you go to the research bench, you drop off your items, and then you go, right? Like, it is, this game does definitely have some clever ideas, and I really like it. It also has, unfortunately, one of the, in my opinion, worst fishing mini games I've ever seen in a game. It's so slow.
Wow.
It is very slow, but I thought it's very,
pretty low
very
praise.
original and actually fun.
No, I really didn't like it. It's
Really?
so slow. It takes so long. Yeah, because so it's basically have you ever played Osu? It's basically Osu but slow. Like, really slow and not tied to the music, but you basically have to, like, put your mouse cursor over the fish in a pond and then follow along the fish while you wait for a bar to fill up. And then sometimes it says, move away because the fish has spotted you, and then you have to move your cursor off of the fish, and then you have to wait for the exclamation mark to go away, and then you move your cursor back on the fish, and it's just, I don't know, it feels so slow. I legit think Stardew Valley fishing is better than Roots of Pacha fishing, and that is a lot for me to say. Yes.
Wow, that is a bold claim to make.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go to the flip side of this argument.
Yeah.
Kiri, what did you actually like about this system?
Okay, I have never played a game with fishing like this before. So for me, it's original. I think it's really cool. I play Core Keeper as well, and I rage about Core Keeper fishing because it's a rhythm game, but you have to remember that, like, every fish has a different rhythm, and you don't know what fish it is until you've seen the rhythm, and that just annoyed me. So coming from that to Roots of Pacha fishing was just really nice because you chill, you fish. Also, you fish with your hand, right? You don't have a fishing rod, or at least not in the beginning. So it kind of makes sense that you would hover your hand or your hand axe or whatever you use over the fish and just follow it along. And then when you're ready, you grab it. I think it just makes sense. Also, I've played with a controller. So I've played on the Steam Deck as well. And you can even do it easily on the Steam Deck, maybe because it is so slow. But then you have the controller and you need to move with the controller and the cursor over the fish. It works really well on the Steam Deck.
To be fair, Roots of Pacha is very, very well optimized for controller play. Like, it's mostly optimized for controller play rather than mouse and keyboard. I will give you the fishing game is very chill. It's not stressful at all.
Yes. Like that.
It really isn't stressful. It's just slow. I think it's just too slow for me. I think that's my problem. Like, if it were like 100, like double the speed, I think I would not mind it as much. But it takes so long to, like, just do one fish, and then you have to do more because you need more, and then it's like, oh,
I get that.
Yeah, I think it's just that.
It's as slow, maybe a bit faster as Core Keeper though, because fishing Core Keeper takes ages.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, it does.
But yeah.
To be fair, so I've already gotten the next. I have got So you don't get a fishing rod. Maybe later. I don't know. I have a fishing spear, which does speeds the game up a little bit, and it makes certain fish have less. It makes the bar smaller for them, so it is a bit faster, but it's still like just real slow.
Yeah, but then you're kind of in the Stone Age, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get it.
Yeah. But no, it's like if you're looking for a slightly different life sim, because it does also have like, there's no combat in the game, but there's like puzzles. There are caves that have puzzles that you have to solve to like progress and get more resources and that sort of stuff. I just, for example, unlocked obsidian tools and that sort of stuff. So the progression is different, and they've definitely put some thought into it. Like, it's not a bad game. It's really not bad. It's not a 10 out of 10, but I mean, I've played it for 3 days. I streamed it for 3 days in a row. So, you know, it's good. And if you enjoy life sim games, like, you will enjoy this, because it's a different setting and that sort of stuff. Like,
yeah,
it's a setting that's not really been explored before, and the way stuff, like, as I said, like the mechanic all works with the whole like village contributions and that sort of stuff is also very different. And yeah, it's fun, and it's, as I said, it's not early access. It's actually a finished game, which nowadays I feel like you really need to call that out, because so many of the live sims are just early access, and it's like,
true.
Yeah, you can play for about five hours, and then you have to wait half a year for more content, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. The game being version 1 and basically finished, but also the new setting makes it very appealing.
Oh, the different setting. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
I agree. Yep. That's true. And
that settles it.
And you can have a mammoth pet, which is pretty cool. I have a baby mammoth in my house. That's
awesome.
Pretty neat. It's really cute, and it does a little, like, when you pet it, it goes like up on its 2 hind legs, and then it just sits down and it does like a sit, and it's just really cute.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Okay, well, I think the last game on our list here is another game that you've been playing, FG, which is Cassette Beasts.
Yeah, it's always me with all of the games. So Cassette Beasts, full disclosure, I played it because of a sponsored stream, and Cassette Beasts is actually really cool. So it came out last week, I want to say. Yeah, on the 26th, so quite a while. It's a Raw Fury published game. It's by Bitten Studio originally, and it's a creature collecting game. So, and then you battle with your creatures, but not quite with the creatures, because the way it works, so you just wake up one morning, you're on this island, you have no idea how you got there. And you meet this person, and they're like, follow me, come to the town. And then you encounter a monster, and then she's just like, here, have this Walkman, because it's 80s inspired. And that's why it's cassettes, because you record the beasts on cassettes, not on like Pokeballs or anything like that. And then she's like, here, have this Walkman, and don't worry, this is totally normal. And then you just turn into the monster, which the tape is in the Walkman, and then you do the battle. And it's like this really cool aesthetic, because it's like a voxel based world. So it's 3D top down, but it's not top down, like isometric view, but it's voxel based. And then the sprites are 2D in this 3D voxel world. And yeah, it's Pokemon, but with cassettes. 80s inspired, really freaking banging music, and some cosmic horror in there as well. I don't want to spoil.
Oh, nice.
I don't want to spoil like the stuff, but it's like, it looks like a sort of happy-go-lucky game, but it's not really, because you're all stranded on this island. You all got there somehow from like different periods in time, and you're all just trying to get home. But there's these, I don't know, it's wild. Like, it's really, really, really good, and the music is just so good. It's got this 80s vibes going on, and it's just really, really, really cool. And then obviously you can like your creatures have evolutions. In the game they're called remasters, though, because it's tapes, right? And then it has this cool mechanic where you have one companion with you, and you have quests with them. And the game is also quest based, so you do have quests as well. It's not just Pokemon where you just like go through the world and you beat the gym leaders. You have to do that too, but there's also other quests. And you have a companion with you, and what you can do if you fill your fusion meter, you can actually fuse both of your monster forms together and make like this giant fusion monster. And you get like all the moves from both beasts at that point in time, and you like just do loads of damage. It's just really cool. It's really, 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 really good. And I mean, like, it has over 1,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews by now, so it's really good. It's really good.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, if you're looking for like an indie creature collecting Pokemon Digimon type game, like, definitely get Cassette Beasts. It's really good, with really good music and everything, and it's like £17, so it's not even that expensive, and it's really, 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 really good, and it's super pretty as well. It does have a...
Yeah, I'm literally just looking at the Steam page at the moment, and I love the art style. It's for the genre, it's really nice. I think it's a good blend, and it works really nicely. This is not something that's been on my radar, but it is now.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, if you like Pokemon Digimon, I think you'll really enjoy this as well. It does have a slight smooth cam when you're walking in the overworld. Like, it's not too pronounced smooth cam, but there's a tiny bit of smooth cam. But it wasn't enough smooth cam to trigger my simulation sickness. It's just something I noticed.
Good to know.
When walking around. Yeah, so that's a bit of a warning. But I guess, like, if you play it on a deck, I don't think it would, you know, if you have it like away from you on a smaller screen, I don't think you would notice. Or on like a handheld thing. But no, I really enjoyed it. And yes, it was sponsored, but like, I had a great time with it. I played more with it, and they did this really cool thing, and I don't know, it's like completely blindsided me, because I was sponsored to play it, and then suddenly I was like in the cafe in the game, and then there's a special, one of the NPCs I was talking to, she asked me, what's your favorite animal or pet? Dogs, cats, ferrets. And then I clicked on cats, but I said otters, and I got a special message in game saying, oh yeah, this is an interdimensional messenger from the studio, and we have some utterly awesome prizes for you. And then they just gave me like in-game like coffee, which is like a restoration thing, but like there was an otter joke in there.
That's so cool.
That's amazing.
And like I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like, that was like made for me, right?
That's awesome.
That's really cool. It was just so perfectly timed as well, because I said, well, I like all animals, but if I need to choose, otter. And then it just popped up, and it was just hilarious. No, I really enjoyed that. That was really fun.
Awesome.
I'm definitely going to play more of that as well.
I've got to give it a go. It's sitting in my library, but I haven't gotten around to it.
It's really good. Like, the music is just, it's the vibe.
Very good. All right, well, I think that rounds out all of the games that we had to talk about this week. So I think it's time for another break, and when we come back, it'll be time for the news. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this. Alrighty, welcome back to episode 68 of the Halcyon Frequency podcast with me, your host, Bloody Drongo, joined by FG Squared and 2D Kiri. And we are here with all of the hottest news. And boy, do we have some hot news this week, do we?
We definitely do, yeah. Definitely. We would never, toot our own horns at all. But obviously, the most important news this entire week, gaming related, is that last weekend, our stream team, Halcyon Frequency, ran the Dwarf Fortress Hot Potato for charity, raising money for Doctors Without Borders. We, in the end, had 21 streamers pass along a save file of Dwarf Fortress, and the community absolutely smashed it, especially Blind's community. Like, hats off, holy smokes. We raised over $32,000, almost $33,000 for Doctors Without Borders. and like 12,000 of that alone was Blind's community, and they just knocked it out of the park. And like, hats off, well done. Thank you again so much, everybody, for participating. It was a blast, and I had a great time. I got to kick it off. I was first up, and it was really interesting to see where the fort went over time, because people did stuff that I would have never thought of doing. And yeah, it was just a pleasure as always. And you know, obviously for a good cause, raising money, and we raised so much money. And we had like you know, the publisher Kit Fox was like stepped in, and they had a segment and all that sort of stuff, but we had like no front page. This was all like community driven. And then $33,000, that's so much money, and they can do so much good with it. It's amazing. I don't know.
It is a very cool achievement. It was, I was a little bit nervous heading into the weekend, but I mean, everything came together perfectly. I don't think we had any major problems or any you know, huge issues across the weekend. And yeah, I think I mean, $12,000 from Blind's community alone was just absolutely mind-blowing. Plus a shout out to the videos that Blind had for
oh my god, yeah,
the redemption milestones. Those were honestly 10 out of 10.
Oh my god,
like, they were hilarious.
I've been like listening to the drinking industry remix like on repeat. It's so good.
Such a banger.
It's such a banger. Oh my god, it's GG Fog did the remix for that, and it's just so good. And then obviously Cooler and Fog did the animations for the videos, and so clever, and like so on the spot as well, because it's like one of them features like Jess from her, like during her turn when she assigned him captain of the, like she assigned Blind like captain of the guard, and that was like referenced in the video and everything. It's just 10 out of 10, like honestly, so much effort spent, and what a fantastic result. Honestly, $12,000, that's incredible. That's, yeah, definitely something to be proud of. So GG Blind, and thanks so much for spearheading that with us, and like, you know, setting up another event. Hopefully going forward we'll do like 2 potatoes a year, one for RimWorld, one for Dwarf Fortress, and just, you know, continue to raise money for a wonderful cause. Doctors Without Borders, obviously, if you've never heard of them, they're a charity that provide medical care, medical assistance to people all over the world, regardless of their, you know, political affiliation, religious affiliation, gender, and etc. They just, you know, they go where help is needed, and they provide said medical help. And yeah, it's a great cause to support, and it's always really humbling to do these events and then like seeing people come together from all over the world and just raising like crazy amounts of money like this. So GG everybody, thanks for participating, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. I had a lot of fun during my turn. I did nothing but draw.
Your turn was amazing.
Potatoes.
It looks so great, though.
It's so funny. I love that that's your thing now. Your community pays you to not do anything. It's great on stream. It's fantastic.
It's, yeah. So be it.
Yeah, that's your content now, just not doing anything. But I don't know, it was so funny, and just all the drawings, and like seeing like the finished picture with all of them in the end. It's great.
I've always wanted to do like a collage thing, almost like a Where's Wally or Where's Waldo sort of collection of images, and that was like my prime opportunity. As soon as I saw them all on the page just blank, I was just like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing with all of these.
Nice.
That's
yeah,
so creative.
It looks great. Yeah, it looks really great. Well done. No, honestly.
So I'll give a shout out as well to my community, because yeah, we raised I think on my turn we did $1,600, which I'm very proud of. So thank you, anybody from my community.
Yeah, thank you, my community as well.
You
obviously,
did amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I was really honored that I got to kick it off. I was surprisingly nervous to kick it off for some reason. I don't know, even though I didn't even have front page. I don't know why.
I know the feeling.
It's so weird, because I was like, what if nobody donates?
Yeah.
And then people started like donating like the day before and that sort of stuff. And I think we hit like almost 2.2k, which is fantastic
Amazing.
for Dwarf Fortress.
Amazing.
And yeah, I don't know, it's great. And we managed to beat the first hot potato, the remote hot potato, by like what, $12,000 or something like that. So Dwarf Fortress
Did
potato,
we actually? I actually hadn't thought about that.
Dwarf Fortress potato will just grow from here on out, I think. And yeah, something to look forward to next year, I suppose. It was great.
It was great to watch.
Absolutely.
Because I wasn't part of it. Because I don't know. I'm not that interested in Dwarf Fortress. Like it's too hard for me, honestly. It's just I don't want it. It's too hard. But it was great to watch and then see what everybody does with it. I just love the concept of a hot potato, be that RimWorld or Dwarf Fortress. Just watching that save file evolve and grow and change, and then stuff happens, and one person, I don't know, like I think it was Bellinaire opening that volcano, right?
Oh my god,
At least
yeah,
trying
the
to fix it
volcano.
then, but then he didn't have enough time,
Yeah.
so he handed it over to somebody not as experienced in Dwarf Fortress, but it still worked out, and that is so cool. It's a great event, and it's fun to watch, and thank you everybody for participating and helping and donating, and it was a blast.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it's always so amazing and humbling to like be part of this and see like what can be done if like everybody comes together, and it's just it was great again.
Maybe next year, Kiri, you could take part, but just go down the Drongo meta of finding incentives to get
Right.
your community and to not play the game, so you don't
I
have to
just
play it.
pretend I
Yeah,
know
there
how
you
to
go.
play Dwarf Fortress and hope
Exactly,
that I
yeah.
raise enough monies that I don't have to play.
Yeah, sounds good.
Although if chat finds out, then they won't donate, so that I will play and mess it up. So I just have
yeah,
to
true.
Oh,
fake it.
Got to keep that one under your cap.
Yeah.
True.
Well, yeah, no, I'll think about it.
All right. Well, enough patting ourselves on the back. Let's talk about some other news that has been going on in the world of gaming and I guess streaming as well. The first article we have here is that Pokemon Go has reached its lowest monthly profit ever, which is perhaps an indication of the, I guess, the popularity and the relevancy of the game at the moment. I'm not sure what you two make of this, but perhaps it is, starting to wane a little bit in the public mind.
I'm
A
honestly
little bit.
impressed that it's been going on for so long. Like I played Pokemon Go at the start, but I dropped off very quickly.
Same.
I never even played
Yeah.
because I lived in the like when it started. Living in the middle of nowhere, there was nothing to do. Like I loaded it up. There was one Pokestop
Yeah.
where I lived. That was it. Like within walking distance. So that was like I was like, all right, yeah, this is a game that for people that live in big cities. And then I was just like, okay, I'm gonna uninstall it.
So, yeah.
Well, it's really interesting for me, like being in a a somewhat smaller of a town. Even then, like at the peak of its popularity, right at the part at the start, because it's a fairly small town, there was only like a few areas that had like lots of like Pokestops and stuff. So there was literally hundreds of people in these like central locations all playing together, and it was kind of a surreal experience. But the scariest thing about it all in my mind is the fact that that was 5 years ago. Like, it does not feel that long ago. It is terrifying to me that that was somehow 5 years ago.
Yep. Yeah, we're getting older. Also, to be fair, like we have to I feel like we have to put this article a bit into I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Perspective, that's the word. We have to get a perspective on it. So Pokemon Go had its lowest monthly revenue in April. It was still $34.7 million, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of money for the year. It's not bad. And it is still the 12th highest grossing mobile game worldwide, like for the month.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I sometimes wonder with a game like Pokemon Go what the actual overheads of keeping it running
I
are.
have no idea. That's a good question.
I assume it's got to be profitable, but I do wonder at what point it does kind of reach that point where they go, okay, enough's enough. And to be fair, it has, I think, as Kiri briefly mentioned, it's in my mind, it has lasted longer than I actually expected it did. Because in my mind, like, that was just like I think it was like a 2-week fad, and then it kind of dropped off. And I'm still kind of a little bit low-key surprised when I speak to people, and there's still a lot of people actually I know that fairly religiously play it, and that always kind of surprises me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, people are still into that.
Yep. And there's events still, and people go to those and that sort of stuff. Definitely. I think it's also kind of like singular because none of the other Go games really, I feel like, ever reached this popularity level. No. But I guess it also makes, it's Pokemon, so that helps, I would say. But yeah, it is definitely surprising that it's still so popular and that sort of stuff. Maybe it's not really like the money going down. It's maybe not really like an indicator of the popularity waning, but more of people not spending as much money because everybody's had to tighten their belt a little bit. And I guess mobile game transactions is one of those things that you can relatively easily like curb your spending on a little bit as well. Maybe that probably also has an influence on the revenue, I'd say.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Yeah, you're probably right that there is an indication of people spending less on discretionary items like mobile games. Because you can play Pokemon Go quite well without spending loads of money, I think, right? Like, I think you can do it relatively successfully. Because there's no gacha stuff really that much in Pokemon Go, right? Because you don't have to like roll for good Pokemon. You just, I guess you have to maybe, I don't know, I've never played it. I guess you have to like buy do you have to buy the special Pokeballs or do you get them for free as well? I suppose you get them for free, but you can probably buy them, right? I don't actually know. It's been a while. I think the transaction stuff is for leveling up your Pokemon for battles, and I think you can get Pokeballs as well.
Okay, gotcha.
But it has been it's been 4+ years for me, so my memory is perhaps a little bit hazy, and it has more than likely changed in terms of its monetization, because I think in the article it does mention something around raid passes, and that definitely wasn't a thing when I was playing last, so I'm not even sure how that aspect works, to be honest.
Gotcha. Apparently last year, like that's just the last line of the article, that Pokemon Go hit $6 billion in lifetime spending in 2022. That is like unfathomable amounts of money. That's crazy. $6 billion. Jesus Christ.
That is a lot of money. That was definitely a hit for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That's wow, bonkers.
All right. Well, something that is a hit for me is that Twitch is actually revisiting how it or changing up entirely and bringing in some new infrastructure for how branded content is displayed on Twitch. And also in line with that, bringing in some requirements for creators that they will need to ensure that they are disclosing paid promotions and sponsorships and that kind of thing, which I think is a great step in the right direction, because this is pretty normal on just about every other platform that I can think of, like Instagram, Twitter. Or does Twitter have it? I actually don't know. Maybe not Twitter, but YouTube certainly does. And Instagram is another one that comes to mind. So I think Twitch is a little bit behind the curve on this one, but better late than never.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's good too. And like it's really so I have it on because I have an ongoing sponsorship, obviously. So I have to I just turn it on because why not? It's there. It's obviously it doesn't absolve you of your local guidelines, so you still have to check those.
Correct.
Like according to UK law, I still have to put it into my title and stuff. Like I can't just stop doing that. So it's not a fixer for like not having to put it into your title or anything like that. Like check your local laws, because if you're in the UK, like just disclosing it with like an overlay like that is not enough. It's really, it's there. It's really small. It's not very noticeable, and it only pops up for 5 seconds when you first open a stream, and then it's gone. So most people won't even notice it, I think. But you know, it's good to have it, like for it to be there, definitely.
I think the major benefit that it has, because you know Twitch is obviously a very much a international platform, it does provide a one unifying identifying factor and one thing that viewers can easily identify regardless of what country it is. Because I mean, obviously not everywhere is as I think as stringent as the UK in terms of disclosure about advertising and sponsorships and stuff, where you have to, you know, I think they even have restrictions right around the positioning of the advert in the thing. Like you have to have ad at the start of the title as opposed to further back and stuff like that. Other countries aren't as restrictive around that. So it makes it, even if it is, you know, somewhat unintrusive, which I think that it should be, it does give a unifying label platform wide for users to become accustomed to and know what to look out for.
Yep. I mean, as I said, I agree with you, and I think it's good. And for people, like if people are worried, maybe it'll hinder their viewing experience. Most people yesterday didn't even notice I had it on because it's over so quickly.
Yeah.
100%.
So no, but I think it's good too, and it'll also I think it's good. I wonder if it gets like I wonder how it ties into doing like bounties, if it turns on automatically if you're doing a bounty. Because I suppose technically
That's a great question.
probably not. I would assume
Probably not because it's Twitch, but it definitely should.
Yeah, it should, but
Yeah, it should, but it might.
because the funny thing is, like when
won't.
when I do a bounty nowadays, right? Because it puts hashtag sponsored at the start. That's actually technically not enough, because sponsored is not, according to UK guidelines, enough to disclose that you're getting paid to play it. Like you have to put ad.
Correct. Yeah.
So I'd have to put like hashtag sponsored, hashtag ad. It's like really stupid. I wonder. Yeah. But anyways, no, it's good.
We'll
I think
see.
it's the right direction, because the problem is that there's a lot of people who don't disclose their stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't know if this is gonna fix that, but I don't know.
No, but it does give a. I think it also does give a terms of service path of recourse for
True.
Twitch to take action against users who aren't following those guidelines, because it would be really hard for Twitch, I think, to make a legal distinction based off of, you know, a user from, you know, the UK or Brazil or something like that, and being like, okay, they're clearly doing the wrong thing here. Creating an on-platform way that it needs to be identified and disclosed gives them a recourse to be able to, you know, take action against those people without getting into the murky depths of, you know, making a legal distinction of being at fault or something like that, which I think is, again, another good thing. Obviously, it is self-reporting at the moment, and there's more than likely still going to be people that do the wrong thing. But I guess no system really is ever going to be perfect in that respect.
Yeah, but
No.
yeah.
But yeah,
So now,
step in the right direction.
exactly, yes. Now streamers have that box to tick on the dashboard, and Twitch is going to start enforcing it with July 1st. So there's a bit of adjustment time, and then we'll see.
Was it 30? Was it July 1st?
Yeah,
or was it,
the 1st.
July
July
1st.
1st,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's good.
All right. Well, I think that actually brings us to the end of the episode, unless there was any other
I added
news.
something really quickly.
Sorry.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Kiri added something that we
Very
completely
sneakily.
I
forgot.
just saw that then as I tabbed back to the
Very
document.
sneakily
Yeah.
added something because that
Good
That
ad
is
as
actually
well.
news. That is actually really
it is
important.
news. It's from yesterday. So Discord is changing what usernames are, because right now you've got your username, hash, and then a number. And they want to change it to the @ system to unique names without the mandatory numbers at the end. And the way they do this is old accounts get to do that first, and they're going to roll that out over the next weeks. So in the Discord app, you will get notifications saying, hey, you now are eligible to change your username, do it. And then they guide you through the process. You can have letters and numbers. Was it hyphens, underscores, and points?
I think hyphens and underscores, and that's it, I think.
Yeah,
like
and you also have a
period as well.
restriction on the number of hyphen and underscores.
But yeah, no hyphen, but underscore and period is allowed. So they've got a support help article here explaining everything. And yeah, so if you have an old account, you get to pick first. I think
That's gonna screw over so many people.
It's like,
oh god,
we've got fairly unique names, right? But it's still, I don't know, like this is low-key making me anxious that I don't get my name.
yeah.
And
Or
yesterday,
that people squat on names as well.
Exactly. But then they have to basically give up their Discord account for it.
Yeah,
So,
true.
And I mean, I guess the good thing about the rollout being already decided from point of origination of the actual account means that there's not going to be people going out there making new accounts to sit on names.
True.
That's
not
or if they
possible.
are, there's low chance that they'll actually get, really important ones, unless you're not checking Discord.
Yeah, or
suppose.
you're.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think most people have been on have had a Discord account for a very long time. In terms of like really big
Yeah.
streamers that I know, smaller creators obviously not so much, but I'm fairly lucky. My Discord account is old. Mine's from 2015,
Yeah.
so I should
Oh, wow.
be one of the firsts. I hope.
Is there a way to
You
check
just click your
the
name
on
and
your
it says-
profile,
age
it's
of
on
your
your
account?
profile.
Yeah, on your profile. Yeah,
Mine's from
I've been at Discord
late 2017.
October 11th, 2015. Been on Discord
Oh,
for
yeah,
a long time.
you're going to be fine then.
Whereabouts on your profile?
Just click on
I'm
it.
just
It's
having a look now.
right.
It's at the bottom.
Member Sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, I click on.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
there.
right. July 2016.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, it's also pretty.
You're just going to tell me then when I'm about to get my notification.
Okay, all right.
got the newest
I'll
account.
keep you in the loop. Don't worry.
yeah.
I guess it's hard to implement that on a service that's been available for years already.
Yeah, it's hard.
This would have to be an absolute logistical nightmare.
Yes.
So, I mean, from a realistic standpoint, this is a good change because it does make it a lot safer on platform and a lot more difficult for people to impersonate other people,
Yeah.
which is a huge problem.
Yes.
And the massive amount of illegal and illicit activity on Discord is just unfathomable, and it's also unmanageable for them, and they obviously view this as a massive risk to their business, as it rightly should be. So I think this will hopefully represent a pretty major change to making the platform a little bit more secure, and hopefully will be followed up by some other changes as well, probably to do with the origination and creation of servers, and also the transfer of ownerships of accounts and also servers as well, that will help to make the platform a lot more safe in general for people.
Yeah, because Discord spam and like it's been real bad, right? So like for years at this point. So because you can just make an account and then you just change one number and then you can make it look like you make the account, you make it look exactly like the other account, and the only thing you change is one number, and people won't notice that. And it's been like we all know people whose accounts have gotten compromised.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of them. Like I was, for those of you who don't know, in early 2022, I was the victim of a socially engineered scheme whereby a game developer friend of mine, somebody who I speak to fairly frequently, had his account compromised, and the individuals behind this, set up a website that looked very much like his. Basically duplicated everything on the website, the download for the game that's through it, and basically messaged me were able to copy a lot of his mannerisms and stuff like that. And they were able to look through the messages and see, hey, okay, this person does actually ask people occasionally to check out the new beta branch of the game, and we'll issue them with a password to access it and stuff like that. And they set all of this stuff up within Discord and then on this third-party site as well, to be able to basically, in my mind, just not get me to pause and, stop to ask the difficult question or the obvious question of, should I be downloading this? And there was just never enough alarm bells going off because of everything looked right. The website looked the same as normal. It was the same mannerisms. It was the same, same procedure that I'd done previously. And, down to the fact that they sent me a password. Like, ironically, if the hackers hadn't given me a password, I wouldn't have been able to download the malware. So it's like another little thing there. And like, even within the download folders, all of the game files were exactly the same. Like, they actually went to the trouble of ripping that as well. And the only thing they swapped out was the exe. And as soon as I launched the exe, I lost my Discord. I lost everything on my PC. The malware itself was like a rootkit virus, so it wasn't able to be wiped off the hard drive with a standard, reboot and cleanse and stuff. And if it hadn't been for two-factor authentication on all of my emails and stuff like that, I likely would have lost that. And then at that point, everything is compromised, like financially and everything like that, which is just awful to think about. I'm very glad that didn't happen. But luckily, eventually, I lost my Discord server within that. But luckily, I did get my account back fairly quickly because I was able to get in contact with one of their Discord trust and safety members. And I got my account back early, and the hackers were still using it to basically leverage and use it to broker other deals and stuff like that. And within Discord itself, there's whole networks of servers that are set up. For example, they have a setup and a server to vet people that want to buy malware. Then they have like a brokerage server where people can go in and purchase the malware itself to basically, as the hinge for these hacking attempts. And then, if they, for example, a lot of these people come from like third world countries, if they can't afford the purchase price of the malware, they have networking areas where they can network with other people that maybe want to share the cost of starting up to buy this malware in the first place. And then they have other servers that are all dedicated to actually selling all of the information and data that they're stealing from people's Discord accounts, people's emails, financial information, identities, things like that. It all gets bought and sold through Discord servers. And a lot of it is facilitated. And even the malware itself is in part a Discord bot. So everything that gets pulled out of Discord is immediately populated into Discord. So even if you're compromised for just a few moments, they get everything. So I cannot emphasize enough just how scary of a place Discord is once you get under the hood of everything, because it is just it is a mess. It is a real mess. So anything to improve the safety on the platform is a great thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Because it's like, especially for us, it's not just that, like, it's like, normal people use Discord to hang out with people. For us, it's like part of the job. So just making that all more secure is just really important. And
absolutely,
yeah, it's great that we're going.
I mean, this all happened like, I think, a month and a half after I'd made the decision to go full time. So I was bricking it. I was absolutely bricking it because I lost so much work. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not even going to be able to stream. What have I done to myself? It was stress. So save yourself stress.
Yeah.
Be safe out there.
Indeed. Yeah.
Well, on that slightly sobering note, has Kiri added any more news articles onto the document stealthily?
No, I haven't. I was good.
Very good. Well, I think that'll round out this episode of the Halcyon Frequency podcast. FG Squared, why don't you tell everybody about who they've been listening to and where they can find you?
Yeah, I'm FG Squared. I go by FG basically, and you can find me everywhere: Twitch, YouTube, etc., etc. Easiest way to find all the links is though to just head on over to fgsquared.tv.
Beautiful. And 2D Kiri, who are you and where can people find you on the internet?
I'm 2D Kiri or Kiri, and I stream strategy and indie games on Twitch. And the easiest way to find my stuff is on 2dkiri.com.
Wonderful. And I have been your host, Bloody Drongo. You can find me on Twitch as Bloody Drongo.
Who are you again?
All one word. And you can also find me on Twitter as well as @TheBloodyDrongo. And as for this podcast, if you want to get any more episodes, you can go to halcyonfrequency.com or to any podcast platform. And if it's not on that platform, let us know and we will get it on there as soon as we can. There is new episodes every Sunday. And if you want to talk about this episode, you can also join the Halcyon Frequency Discord. And of course, as always, a quick thank you to Peter Paul and Paul Miles for the music for this podcast, which you're currently hearing. This has been the Halcyon Frequency Podcast. Don't touch that dial. Signing off.